How are you now? I'm James Whelan, live from Studio 57 here in
Studio
Northbridge.
57.
That sounded okay. I am
Yeah.
coming to you from lockdown, self-imposed quarantine. James Whelan, COVID Charlie over here. Mate, this is the Theory of Thing investment podcast, and we are glad to have my co-host here with us, Heath Moss from HLM Investments. Heath, how are you now?
Not too bad. Probably doing a lot better than you, mate. I went through what you've got a few weeks ago.
Oh, I'm
So
fine.
yeah.
Don't worry about me, mate. I'm made of. It's not about being made of stronger stuff. My name is James Whelan, managing director of Barclay Pierce Capital's wealth management team. Thank you very much. I don't have any wakey here, unfortunately, to be able to keep me a wakey. The good thing, it's not that bad. It's not. It was a couple of days of being really fairly just stuffy, sort of flu, and mate, now it's just a really strongly positive test, and don't go hang out with any of my family. Don't do anything.
No.
So I'm on quarantine. So welcome to my little part of the world here. I've got an Edith Piaf record here ready to play in honor of
Beautiful.
those brave men who stormed the beaches of Normandy and saved Europe from fascism all that time ago. And yeah, I might play a little bit of her to take us out. Anyway, so that's what we've got on the show today. Coming up, we've got so this is my we've got a Tottenham scarf here, AFL football balls, championship baseball trophy from when we won the championships that year, various golf trophies and baseball trophies and things in the background there, and a gherkin knife up here from when we trekked in Nepal, and the hat that we wore when we trekked Nepal as well. Anyway, so just a little insight to my life. This is very big energy, and we'll talk about this. The energy that I've got sort of goes back to the early days of the BIP show with Paul Colgan when we were recording out of lockdown, talking about GameStop, talking about Roaring Kitty, talking about the stock market just booming on, relentlessly ahead. We've seen numbers come out. The JOLTS numbers came out. The term premium, not the term premium, risk premium. The amount above the 10-year yield that you're happy to pay for the market. Those two numbers have gone back to 2021, 2022 levels. We're back to those COVID areas now, except going back down in the area as opposed to when they were going back up that area. There's a lot of similarities and a lot of data similarities sort of heading in different directions now. It's fascinating. Heath, thank you for joining us. How have you been though? Otherwise,
yeah, pretty good, mate. Pretty good. Quite weak on the markets. Got Fed blackout, and everyone's just waiting on NFP data tonight. Really,
mate,
that's
nothing going
what
on.
we're seeing. Yeah, it's luckily we got the game one of the NBA Finals starting today. Actually probably tipping off as we speak now.
It's tipping off as we speak. I'm going to say, I reckon, I'm going to predict it. I reckon Celtics will beat the spread. They've won game one of everything they've ever done. What have you got?
Who are you going for the series? Who you got winning the championship?
I'm not a big Celtics fan. I want to see. Luka's earned this, man. He's earned this.
I think Mavs in 6. Luka is special. The only thing that will stop him is he's got a bung knee. So got to watch out for that.
Okay. Does he really? When did that happen? I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
He's recovered.
He's had it since the start of the playoffs, and only way he can fix it is rest. So that's not going to happen.
He's moving fine. He's moving fine. Speaking of quiet markets, as you were, Heath, I've just pulled up a chart here, courtesy of the good people at Bar Chart, who are always good for a couple of good for a chart. As they go. Oh, I've got this. Just side note, I've got this tea diffuser. What do you call those things?
I think it's diffuser.
Yeah, whatever it's called. It's I've got some French Earl Grey in there. It's an absolute beautiful thing. I bought it at the French market a while ago. But I've just put up a chart here from Bar Chart that, according to them, S&P 500. This is last night, so the 6th of the 6th, 2024 AD US time. Today is currently the 7th if you're in Australia. The S&P 500 finished with its lowest volume in 18 years. That's excluding holiday shortened trading days. You can look at that volume there and just, wow, that is slim. If you're looking at the potential for a market to really start a takeaway, you want to have sort of a reversal day sitting up on a bit of a peak as it sort of was. on really light volume like that, that's where you sort of get an evening star reversal if you want to be that way inclined.
Yeah.
But
If
how about
jobs data comes in really, really hot tonight, I dare say that starts trending back down.
yeah, could do.
But it is the season though. We're heading into summer over in the US, which means schools out. All these directors etc. start taking their holidays and
Yep,
volumes come off, and they don't really
yep,
pick up again until August, I think it is. So it is the season
yep.
for
Well,
low volume.
after that May that we had, and the whole, my whole theme, my
Oh, the
shtick this
terrible
week
May, the
has
terrible,
been
terrible
this
May, eh?
this good old silly May go, oh, this rhyme based investing
Mm.
and stuff that goes on like this, mate. One of the best. What is it? The best in about 15 years that the S&P
Mm.
500 has seen. Now, off the stats, usually June in an election year is one of the stronger months.
Yes.
So but keep in mind, we're coming off a really, really strong May. So if there's going to be some profit taking to be done before, whatever you have, they don't do year end the same way, but still quarter end is coming up.
Yep.
I'd probably want to just sit back and have a look at some of those numbers, mate. I mean, you've made your bank. Drink some tea.
Yeah. Look, the first half of June is probably going to be quite strong. The second half, probably not so much.
All right, you ready for your app? I'm ready for your app. Let's do it. Look, see how that was smooth.
Beautiful.
Good old Jimmy 2 thumbs on the button side. Let's go.
Okay, you got 2. Okay, all right. What do we got here? We got the SBX chart up here. Similar to yours. Not much happening there. Decent week. We're up 1% or 2 there on the S&P 500.
Mm-hmm.
Volumes are very light, as we spoke about. Nothing really to speak about. We had JOLTS data come out the other day. Openings are down. Now, that peaked around just after COVID. Openings peaked at around 2 jobs for every unemployed person out there in the US. That's down to 1.2 jobs. So there's come right back, and there has been a softening and deterioration in the US markets and a tightening in terms of jobs available there. And that's exactly what Fed, the power, has been wanting to see. He has referenced it a few times in his speeches. So the Fed will be loving that. And of course, they're on blackout at the moment until next Friday. I think their meeting is. So that's the S&P 500. Nothing really right.
Best time of the year.
It is. We've got the NASDAQ, very similar looking chart there. Not much to see here, flirting with all-time highs. Biggest news, NVIDIA splits after market tonight and will trade as a split company
tonight
for the first time on Monday. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah, okay. So it splits after market tonight. Yes,
Yes.
Tomorrow morning, whatever.
We'll trade, what is it, 1 for 4, so whatever they're trading at the moment. I think it's around 1,100, isn't it? Just keeps them going bloody high, this thing. Where are we? So 1,200.
Yeah,
1,200. So
now I'm gonna jump in on you there. Hang on.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna show my. This was an argument, and I'll just show it. This was an argument that was back in January between a guy called AG Trader and a guy called Stunt, the usual sort of Twitter back and forth. And I'll just pull it up for those who are, and I'll narrate it on there. This guy's saying NVIDIA won't go to there. Some other guy's saying, hey, it's going to go up by this many times. You're going to see this increase and this sort of momentum going through. And the guy's long this $1,200 calls. And, there's this challenge. Oh, if you're so bullish on the stock, why don't you go into it? And the guy said, I'm long 1,200. This is in January. The guy said, I'm long $1,200 calls. And then the response, obviously mockingly, as there's always those people who are in the street mocking you, no matter what you do, has just gone, so you honestly think that it's going to go to 1,200? And he's drawn the bit on the chart that takes it up to where it should be. And it's like
from about 650 to 1,200. Yeah.
To be fair, the guy who mocked him did retweet himself and just gone, oh my God, he did it. So it was like the full respect that he had before it was something else. It was
all the Twitter clout that goes to him, I suppose.
Yeah. I'll pull you back up there, mate. Yeah, go on. It's just incredible. And incredible respect. It was just like no one thought it was going to go like that, except for this guy.
No.
So there you go. Yeah.
No. So what's that? Yeah, that's the NVIDIA chart I've got. And like you see, it's 1,200 at the moment, 1,209. So that, makes it about a $300 stock after the split. What else we got? Yields trending down. Softer US data over the last few weeks. So yields are coming down. After that short spike a week or two again, like you spoke about that risk premium from those auctions, they came in slightly higher after the auctions than expected, but that's all been priced out of the market now. And actually, 2 full cuts are priced back into the US markets now by the end of the year. So that's something to keep an eye on. So that's the 10-year copper. Very constructive here. Very constructive here. Almost came back to that trend line there.
Good. Yeah, it's based. As the kids on the internet would say.
We had Chinese CACs and PMIs come out this week, and both services and manufacturing were really, really strong. Yeah. And if you take a composite between the national data and the CACs, it's painting a fairly positive picture. Because I mean the national stuff's been a little bit softer of late, which is that concentrates on medium to large business, whereas the Caxton is small to medium. So if the smaller end of town are doing well, then I suppose that bodes well for the Chinese consumer and jobs, etc. There. So so copper has bounced back up to about 466 a pound. It was down about 453, 454. But it needs some sideways movement here. It needs some consolidation.
We've got to get we've got to get the dollar numbers. I'm only thinking in referencing now of 9,000, 10,000, 11,000.
Oh, okay. So you're talking COMEX. This is COMEX. You're thinking London's Manic.
London, yes.
I'll have to find that
no
chart
pounds. I need
later.
tons. I know, man. It's it's just where I'm thinking. It doesn't matter, but I can see a chart. A chart's a chart, right? Copper's copper. Unless you want to play that ARB game that everyone was playing a couple of weeks ago. That's we're not those guys.
Yep. Gold's looking very constructive again as well. Again, yields coming down, the US dollar coming down, making gold look much more attractive, knocking on 2,400 an ounce again.
That's all right,
now, what I want to talk
a funny
about.
pattern, isn't that weird?
Sorry,
just that little, just those last few days, just the way that it's just been in that same range. Isn't it funny?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I mean, is it a forecasting a softer NFP? I mean, macro data coming out is suggesting that NFP will come in soft. Jobs data, job openings, all that sort of gear.
You've got a better chance of picking how many points Donkic is going to score, man. Anyway,
I know. It's its own beast, isn't it?
As if you'd
silver. I want to talk about silver.
Yeah, go silver, because you've drum banged silver a bit this week. Let's hear it. I'm going to sit back. I won't say anything. Mute the microphone, ladies and gentlemen. Heath Moss on silver.
Look, we talk about gold all the time. What doesn't get talked about is silver, and to me, it's a little bit remarkable that we don't, because silver has a lot more fundamental industrial uses than gold. I mean, gold is basically jewelry, store of wealth, central banks. Whereas silver, most of it, 60% of it, is industrial uses. So basically, it all lines up with the decarbonisation and green infrastructure of the world and where we're trending. Because as of 2024, predicted forecast for 2024, 25% of all silver will be used in solar panels, silver produced. Now, that was only about 6% about 9 years ago. So you can see there's been a massive surge in use of silver in solar panels, and we all know silver up until 2000 was mainly used in photography. So, solar panels could be to silver what photography was to a couple of decades ago. So what else? Why else is this important? Because obviously China is still aggressively building out their solar capacity. They're going to go to 3,000 gigawatts by 2030. But what is also happening over there is the type of panels they use on these solar panels are changing the technology behind it. Currently, it's PERC technology, and the industry is now switching to TOPCon or heterojunction panel technology. Now, why is that? It's because they're less solar intensive, which means that they need less solar to produce the same amount of energy, so they're more efficient. And so why is that important to silver? Well, they use a lot more silver to do so. TOPCon uses up to 30% more per kilowatt, and heterojunction use 100% per kilowatt. So not only have you got China building out a massive solar capacity still, you have the intensity and the amount of silver being used in that increasing. And this is all before India starts coming and doing their thing aggressively as well. And of course,
with the solar stuff.
With solar.
Sorry, I jumped in. I said I wasn't going to do that.
You need to shut up. So, Drink your tea. So India, I mean, haven't even started their rollout, and they want to do the same as China. And we've got mine production falling by about 1 to 2% a year. There's about 1 billion ounces of silver produced a year. That peaked at about 1.2 billion ounces in 2015, and we've got about a 200 million ounce a year deficit in silver production. And only 25% of silver comes from pure play silver mines. The rest, it's a byproduct of copper, zinc, lead, all those sorts of things. And we all know the story there. Those mines are productions of declining as well. So we don't have enough silver. It's a similar story to a lot of metals out there at the moment: copper, uranium, all that. We don't have enough to fulfill current needs. We don't have enough to fulfill future needs and moving forward. And you've got extremely high demand coming through from the solar energy in China and probably India very soon as well. So that's my bull case for silver. Now, the best way you can get exposure to that on the ASX is a little silver. I've typed in the code wrong. ETP MAG. That's the Global X Silver ETF. It's very similar to their gold ETF. It's silver in AUD, backed by physical bullion. That is probably the best way. It's about $43.56 at the moment. That's the best way to get exposure to silver on the ASX. Outside of that, you probably I like a few little specs here.
Give me a loose one.
Again, yep. I'll give you three. I'll give you three because there really isn't much in the way of silver companies out there. Simply because, like I said, only 25% of silver comes from pure play silver mines. So the three is Adriatic Metals (ADT). They've got their project in Bosnia, which is starting production basically now. That's going to be a major producer, and quite a lot of silver is going to come out of there. Then you have a newly listed little company called Silver Sun. Their code is SS1. They're only in exploring phase at the moment. They're in Nevada in the US, which is the US's the highest producing metals state. Very, very mining friendly over there. They've got about 290 million ounces of silver in ground. And then finally, you got silver mines here in Australia and their Bowden project in New South Wales, which has about 392 million ounces as well. All very small, highly speculative, high risk. I do have exposure personally and for clients, so keep that in mind. Go seek advice from your financial advisor. This is general advice only, but that's basically really the major ways you can get exposure to silver at the moment on the ASX. Simply because it's just mainly a byproduct, so it's really, really hard to get exposure to. Even on an international global scale, it's hard to get exposure to. So,
and you mentioned the shortages of that. That is a great wrap, Matt. Now I'm going to come in and start talking again.
Go for it.
Okay, so we've got those.
I'll
three.
shut up now and drink my tea.
ETP Mag. ETP Mag is a good one that is good, underrated, was sort of ignored. I actually think that ETF securities, before they combined with Global X, I actually think there was a while that ETF securities was about to wind it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was just nothing was going on with it. It was just like,
it's a decent size.
It wasn't moving.
It's 350 million, I think, almost in market cap. The ETF, so it's a decent size for what it is.
You keep the faith, man. Yeah, you absolutely keep the faith. What was the other one that annoyed me? Speaking of winding up, going back over the years, was that there used to be a commodities ETF. Beta Shares had a commodities ETF, a locally listed commodities ETF, and it was like they weren't getting any love, and then I've just gone, there's about to be a commodities super cycle. I'm going to get involved. I'm going to charge in, and I did it, and I'm buying this thing, and I was talking to Pete Harper at Beta Shares. He's going, James, I see you're writing about this thing. I've got to let you know. We're winding this thing up. Like, you've got to be kidding me. He said, mate, the plan's already in place. You can't do it. And then the super cycle hit just like that.
Yep.
There is a rule. Yep. ETFs, mate, once the ETF comes out, you've already missed the run.
Mm-hmm.
And when they wind it up, that's probably a really good chance to get bullish, because that's what at the point of exhaustion is the point when everything turns. And that's not a hard and fast rule, but I've seen it happen. We've just got this ETF done for US commercial property. It's absolutely booming. It's just like, I'm going to get the hell out of that one. That's how that goes. Okay, let's get some sports.
Sports. Oh, I totally forgot about my bet.
You had a bet, did you?
I did, and I've totally forgotten what it was.
I'm
Give me
gonna
2
find you.
seconds.
I'll
I will
find
bring
you
it
on
up
this one.
again. I
Here's
did
a
have
team that
a bet.
I reckon the
Where is it?
dogs. I reckon the dogs
Tonight.
overcome. No, I'm talking the
Oh,
NRL.
in the NRL. Sorry, yep. I
Yep.
totally forgot you do NRL.
You totally forgot that I do NRL.
Yep.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up. You pull what you pull up, and I'm going to pull up this very funny thing that happened. This is from Fox. During job interviews, employers say recent college graduates have 53% struggled with eye contact, 50% asked for unreasonable compensation, 47% dressed inappropriately, 27% used inappropriate language. Yeah, okay. 21% have refused to turn on camera during a virtual interview, and coming in at 19% of college graduates have brought a parent to their interview. This new
beautiful.
generation coming into the workforce, and I know this because Barclay Pierce Capital, we are hiring. We're aggressively trying to. I'm trying to bolster my team. I'm looking for some young kids. And you know, it's I don't care about age, whatever it is, but it is a job that would suit someone who's new in the industry. I'm getting good interviewers. I'm getting good kids that are coming up and that they're presenting well. I don't know what's going on over in the States. Maybe it's just a financial services thing, and I'm getting the creme de la creme of people who are talking to me, and these are good things. But that is, imagine bringing your mum. Imagine doing that in this industry, bringing your mum in this industry, and just like all of a sudden it's just like someone to be like, I need you to come and meet the entire team. Bring your mum, please. This is going to be great. Hey, everyone, this guy brought his mum.
God.
Anyway,
that is terrible. 1 in 5 are bringing their parent along to the interview. That is fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know what Dad's going to do for you. Dad's going to sit there and just go, I don't know why I'm here either. All right, mate. Have you got a show us?
Yeah, I've got one. I've remembered what it was. It was the Hawks to beat GWS. They're playing down in Tassie tomorrow. Hawks looking really good. They towered up my Crows last week quite easily. They're in really good form. Paying $2.08. They're not the favourite. They're not the favourite in this one. So, yeah, I reckon Hawks to beat GWS in Tassie tomorrow.
Okay, that is a pretty good one. I am just pulling one up because I just want to just double check a team list for someone that I was waiting on. So you stall for time while I'm doing that. You know, it could be there. Keep in mind also, if you want to apply for a job at Barclay Pierce Capital's wealth management team and work, you know, in this sort of hectic, crazy environment that we've got going on here, you're perfectly welcome to send me a note, and I'll do everything that I can to help you out. Okay. You know what? We've got Roosters, Cowboys, Dragons, Tigers tonight. Here we go. I think that if you go, that's pretty good. Interesting. Dragons minus 4.5. Interesting. Dragons minus 4 or 5. No, I'll take the Tigers here. I'm going to take the Tigers. Tigers have got no players out because of Origin, which is weird because Coruscant. And I'm taking Tigers at the line. 9.5 points. Gets you 9-3. St. George had 1 or 2 players. I think Zach Lomax was out for them. I think Origin time brings some upsets, and I think the Tigers have just got a little bit tipped against them on that one. So, although Zach Lomax is actually playing because Origin is back on. However, I mean, that was brutal that they had to play with 12 men in that ridiculous full send-off. Can you imagine if you paid all that money to go to the Origin or all the hype up and all the build up and everything that's there, and you got one player who stuffs up like that? And even though Reece Walsh did duck and go to the back into that, it was an awful hit from the New South Welshman. But he should get 10 off. The entire team and all the fans and the crowd and everyone who was watching at home should not be penalised because of that one instance. That was that.
Did the Queensland player that got hit, was he able to play on?
No. So my suggestion,
I can see a reasoning behind that, and I think it's
yes, but they get to sub him. They get to sub. To sub. So Reece was. So my suggestion was, it should have been 10. He actually should have got sent off. My suggestion was send him off, so he doesn't get to come back in the player. The New South Welshman doesn't get to come back in. They have one player short for 10. and then after 10 minutes, you can replace him and bring someone on. So that way you're like, yep, that's the 10-minute penalty. That's fine. And then
similar to hockey and their power plays, although you can come back on. But yeah, you get 5 minutes or whatever it is.
You're 5 minutes, then you come back on, but it's okay. But the idea is that player shouldn't come back on because that hit was dangerous, and that player should be penalised. Not every single person watching the game 7 minutes in going, well, there's no point. There's no point in this game going on anymore. We know how this outcome is going to be, and it was. Anyway, so look, I like the Tigers. I like the Tigers with the points. Go nuts on that one, okay?
Fantastic. Do you want to bring the screen back up just quickly?
What do you got for us?
We've got to address the best trader in the room, Nancy Pelosi.
Kitty? Oh, Pelosi.
Pelosi. Kitty doesn't hold anything to her. She's the best trader in the room. Look at her. She's made $4 million from a NVIDIA trade. It's up
4 million
in 197 days. Portfolio's up 93%. What a champion trader she is. Buffett, eat your heart out. Nancy has the crown.
Outstanding work.
But yeah, fantastic, isn't it? To be a congressperson over in the US, fantastic.
Yeah, it sure is. Let's see if this works out okay. There it is. Is that coming in the background? You can hear that okay? I think that StreamYard cuts it out.
There we go. A little bit. We can hear a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. It's not really coming in. Anyway, look, this one's for everyone who's still on the beaches in Normandy and do what they did. More of that sort of behaviour and less bringing your parents to job interviews. I think that we should all be okay. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us. This has been the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast. That's been Edith Piaf, and you've been Heath Moss, and I've been James Whelan. Thanks for joining us, Heath.
Thanks everyone. Have a great weekend.
Talk to you next week. Bye.